As we go live. Right. We are live, baby. We are live. We are here. We are in. We are 3 minutes late, but better late than never. Let the viewers build up. Just give it a sec. Give it a sec. All right, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode on Disqualified Dads. This is episode 67. And I am your host, Coach Farouk, and I'm joined by my co-host, none other than that family law guy. Now,
the very same.
Yes, and before I hand over the floor to my co-host, just want to say we are here every Sunday, 8:30, 8:33 this Sunday. We're 3 minutes late, but no biggie. We're generally here 8:30 every Sunday to help answer your questions around the whole family court arena, helping you get closer to your children week by week. That's what we do. We've helped many and we continue to do so. Mr. Ryan, what's going on?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to, where are we? Sunday the 12th of October. The year continues to slip away from us. It is, I'm going to say it's the end of another week, or is it the start of another one? Depends where you are, really. But yeah, it's all going on out there. The family court continues to be chaotic and not great. We continue to fight and endeavour to hold our own within it, representing mums, representing dads, representing anybody who feels the need to be looked after by us. It's been an interesting week. Remind me to tell you a story later about where I was last night, which has nothing to do with family law. Absolutely nothing to do with family law, but it has everything to do with the expectation of service. There we go. I'll leave that as an intriguing little story that I'll tell later.
Well, as you said last night, it sounded like Saturday night, little story. Could be a bit of gossip, could be interesting. I was thinking maybe we should jump straight to the story.
If you want me to tell the story, I can tell the story. So last evening, I gave myself, and it's very rare, but I gave myself the night off.
Whoa.
I know.
How did this happen?
I know.
What was the emergency where you authorized yourself? What was the emergency? Please tell me. We'd all like to know.
I just thought, why not? So, and I went, and I left the area. I know it's just getting worse. I left the area. I went to Chester. I like Chester. It's a lovely part of the world. If people who know Chester or people who've never been, Chester is a lovely, lovely city. And I went up to Chester because I know it very, very well. And I decided to stop up there just to treat myself, and with a very, very dear human being with me. And we decided to stop at a castle.
Nice.
And in a very beautiful, I'm not going to name it because I'm going to go on and tell you how what it was like. But we decided to stop in a castle just for something a bit unique. So we arrive late afternoon, drive through this woodland, and it is very thick woodland. It was very Disney. Driving through this woodland, pull up outside what is essentially a castle. Everything that you think of that a castle looks like, that is this. And we walked under this huge 30-foot high archway, and then walked into essentially the middle of the castle, which was these beautiful landscape gardens with the castle surrounding all the way around it. It was just picture postcard stuff, absolutely beautiful. So we arrived and we booked in and we had some dinner and then we returned to our rooms, and then we discovered that actually it was arguably the most uncomfortable place in the world to actually sleep in. It was like being in a prison cell. How do I know it was like being in a prison cell? Well, that's a story for another day. But so at 2:00 this morning, I decided I can't take this anymore. I've got to leave.
No.
So,
Good.
and I have lived all over the world. I have stayed in hotels all over the world. Some very, very expensive hotels and some very, very bad hotels. That's just life. I have never left a hotel in the middle of the night. But at 2 o'clock this morning, I think it was actually 2:30 by the time I got in the car. At 2:30 this morning, I thought it's no good. I just cannot be here. My guest could not be here anymore. We were just so uncomfortable. And so we left and we drove
Yeah,
home.
but hold on. What was it? The bed, the mattress, what? The whole
It
room? Like,
was,
what was it? What
yeah,
was
it was
the issue?
the bed was like lying on a board. The pillows gave no comfort or support whatsoever. It was like they weren't even there. It was pointless them even being there. It was just, and I just thought, given the not insignificant sum of money that I've paid for this, it was just dreadful, dreadful.
Did you leave any feedback? I mean, because if the rest of okay, look, so it came down to the bed, yeah, the bed, the
Well,
pillow,
and
the
it came down to a
duvet,
lot of
whatnot.
issues. The bed was just one. There were a lot of other issues.
Yeah, but listen, that's look to leave at 2 in the morning, for all these woods and jungle, right? Is an extreme thing to do. I'm trying to think, like, considering the surrounding and the Disney element and proper castle, Stonewall, the majestic, living this sort of staying in this majestic place. Surely, how bad does it have to be where a man leaves at 2 in the morning? I mean, come on, man, that's deep. It can't be that.
Well,
I mean, really.
I emailed the hotel this morning to advise them, because obviously it was a night porter who let me out at 2 o'clock this morning when I left. So I emailed the hotel this morning because it's only fair to give them feedback. I'm not one of these who goes on to TripAdvisor and just leaves a horrendous review. That's not how I operate. So I emailed direct to the hotel, and I sent them an email with 62 separate bullet points of issues that I had.
Damn.
Ranging from leaking sinks and a shower that I could barely fit in, and a bed that was horrendous, and furniture that was dreadful. Anyway.
Well, look, the way the story started, I never expected this. I got to be honest. I was waiting for this whole
Mm,
Disney fairy tale ending, but obviously,
mm.
clearly, I was well off the mark there.
Yeah. So there
But
you go. That was just a little aside. Just a little aside. So if you're anywhere near a castle, and it wouldn't take you long to work it out. If you're anywhere near a castle or toying with stopping in a castle near to Chester, don't.
yeah, bloody hell. And Mr. Five Star is saying that Mr. Ryan taking a day off is like everyone celebrating Eid at the same day.
Thank you, 5 star. Always
Yeah.
supportive. Always supportive, that chap.
Oh, look at that. He also follows on to say, goes against the biggest barristers and solicitors in the game, but can't handle a castle sell.
It's a fair
Well,
point. It's a fair point. I just thought I've given myself this little break at the very least. I should be enjoying it, and I'm not. So.
look, you're saying that, right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit what happened to me last night. I didn't go in no castle. No, I was in
Mm,
my own bed, so you couldn't sleep in this castle bed. I was laying in my bed last night,
mm,
and when you're not fully asleep, but you're not awake either. So my eyes are closed, and I'm sort of praying for my brain to just switch off, and I doze off. So I'm only 20-30%, which is almost like not even sleeping, but you're just praying that please go to sleep. You're uncomfortable. The whole night went like that. Basically, I ain't slept all night, and so I was awake all night till 9, 10. I laid in bed hoping I'd fall asleep at some point, and then I got out. But I remember one thing very vividly. Now, I spoke to a chap last night.
mm.
It's a chap that we are representing and looking after, and the way the conversation. I don't know if it was the conversation that we had, but during this my semi sort of awake state last night, I had a very vivid dream. I had three. It was like the same dream, but I had the same dream 3 times. And it was so clear and real. I saw my 2 daughters. I was at dinner somewhere, and someone said that little girl wants you to sit next to her. I'm thinking, who is that? That was my little girl. And like, I went there, sat next to her. It was so real. I'm like, damn, they still remember me. It's all good. Like this, just like they never left. And I had that same dream 3 times where I saw them again somewhere. I sat down with them, and I saw them. It was real. The emotion was real. The feeling was almost real. The look on their face, I could almost touch their face. Like that's how real it was. So listen, guys, I just say keep believing, keep hoping, keep praying. Anything is possible. But yeah, I've not slept, but I've got the emotion like I've seen my daughters. I'm carrying that emotion. And
That's
it's all
good.
good. It's
I like that. I
positive
like.
vibe. Positive vibe.
Yeah. But there we go. But the coincidence there is we both had a terrible night's sleep. So yeah.
Yeah, so listen, if you see us dozing off, that's why I've definitely got my
That's it.
sunglasses. If I
As I
don't
say, yes,
respond, guys, someone have to give me some sort of you'll have to give me a little nudge or something to shout in the microphone so I wake up just in case I doze off. Yeah.
yes, if we doze off at any point.
Right.
But yeah, so that was it. Anyway.
Right. I want to let's before these questions rush in. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit
Mm.
slow tonight, so let's talk about this. As the title says, the case of Mr. Mazur. Do you want to
So
talk a little bit about that?
yeah, this is an interesting one because this doesn't directly affect any of us, but it's interesting to know. There was a case, and I'll very quickly give you the history of the case. Essentially, there was a guy called Mr. Mazur, and there was other people who were party to the matter, and they were dealing with a court case which involved them having to pay some fees. In fact, £55,000 worth of unpaid legal costs, and so the firm who were chasing the case, who were chasing the money off Mr. Mazur, they instructed another solicitor who were debt collectors, and they instructed them to go and get this 55 grand. Now, what Mr. Mazur did was he took the matter into court and said that he was not happy that the fees were valid. He said that the fees were a generation by people who were not qualified to do the legal work which the fees represented. So that essentially what was happening. So what happens is the matter goes into court, ends up in High Court, and it ends up with a judge, i.e. Mr. Justice Sheldon, in fact. Mr. Justice Sheldon has to make a decision on the whole issue of Mazur versus Charles Russell Speechley, who was the name of the solicitors who were chasing the money. And what Justice Sheldon said, and it's incredibly interesting, because let me just take a step back for a minute and tell you how solicitors operate. How solicitors practice, is you will have a number of solicitors who are qualified. They've got all the necessary whistles and bells. They've got the practice license in order that they can go off and do the work of solicitors. They can conduct litigation. But what solicitors then have within their building is they have paralegals, they have trainee solicitors, they also have some people doing admin functions who are totally untrained, totally unqualified. And what the solicitors do is obviously they use all those other people to do lots of the legwork. So often you will find when you go to see a solicitor and you say, hello, I'm looking for a solicitor to do something for me. And let's use family law as an example. The solicitor will often say, well, look, I'm £400 an hour for me to do this for you. But what I'm going to do in order that the bill doesn't become mental, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of our paralegals or one of our legal executives, which is another level of qualification. And I'm going to use them, and they're essentially going to do the work for you in order that you're not paying £400 an hour, you're only paying £200 an hour or £150 an hour, whatever the figure is. But essentially, we're going to save you money by having the work done by somebody who is less qualified than me, but I am going to oversee it. So that's how it works. So that's how it currently works. Now, Justice Sheldon said in the matter of Mazur and Charles Russell Speechley, I don't like that. Justice Sheldon said, the conduct of litigation, i.e., people battling with the law, should only be carried out by people who carry a practice license and are qualified. Consequently, you cannot get the legal executive in your office or the paralegal in your office to litigate a case for you. So often you will find, particularly in family law, that you walk into court. I find it very often. I'll walk into court, and on the other side of the room, representing the other party, might be a trainee solicitor. It might be a legal executive. It sometimes is a paralegal. And they're representing the other side. Now, what Justice Sheldon has said is that cannot happen. Litigation can only be carried out by somebody who has a practice license and who is qualified to do so. So what does that mean? What that means is currently every solicitor's practice across the country is looking at their client base and thinking, well, how are we going to do this work? Because now I'm the only one who can do the work. I'm not allowed to get my legal executive to do it or my paralegal to do it. I have to do it. So how do I do that? And then the second part of that conversation, obviously, is what do I do with my paralegal? What do I do with my legal executive? Because now there's nothing for them to do because I have to do all the work. So what do they do? So there is a very quiet chaos going on at the moment in the legal profession. The impact for us, and the reason I tell this story, is because I think we will see legal fees go up. Because what will happen is solicitors will say, well, guess what? I'm £400 an hour, and I'm the only person in this building who can do your case because nobody else in this building is qualified to do your case. So I'm £400 an hour. Well, shall we start? So I think we will see legal bills go up considerably as a result of this.
But the thing is this, legal bills may go up, which means more people are priced out the market. Paralegals, hopefully, and all these other, the lower level people and trainees, hopefully they go into some real profession of law, criminal law, something like that, rather than trying to fleece us poor people just fighting to see our children. So, secondly, the other thing is, right, I just got a WhatsApp message from one of the guys who were representing his solicitor. It was $7.50 an hour. He just
There you go.
highlighted.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
So the thing is now, and it will just push more people towards the Mackenzie route or the litigant in person route. And lucky for the industry that family court master will be coming out. Yeah, you don't need no one. You don't need nothing. You don't need no one. You don't need nothing. You got this. You got the best team in the game to support you through. Right there. Boom. You don't need none of them. Do you know what I mean? We got you. We got you. So yeah, listen, we might be perfectly timed. See, all the chips are aligning. But and you know what the other thing I want to highlight is as well, right? With this now, yeah. It's not like if the family court wasn't already in chaos. The delays, the incompetency, and the chaos, and this is now just another layer of chaos where it's just crumbling from within. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing, honestly.
It is something. You know, you're right. You're right. It is a mess. This has a real. You know, this is a very theoretically a very quiet judgment. It came out in the middle of September. Very quiet judgment, but it has sent a real tsunami through the industry. And the SRA, the Solicitors Regulatory Authority, are in a bit of a flat panic as to what do we do about this, because we've now got, you know, a very senior judge who has ruled on this and said there's no middle ground. There's no yeah, but we can do that. He has said if you're not qualified, you're not doing it.
So did Mr. Mazou then, like, did he get let off on most of that 55 grand now? Obviously,
the final judgment in the case. Well, he essentially won his argument because his argument was, I'm being charged for people who are not qualified to do the work. So I'm being charged the £400 an hour rate for £100 an hour body, and that's not fair. So there was a deal was struck. A deal was struck in the matter. But yeah, so that was the outcome for him. But it was more about this precedent decision made by Judge Sheldon, where he said, this is what should be happening in the industry.
Well, I think we're going to need more trainee Mackenzies going forward. So yeah, guys, get your applications in. Get your applications in. We'll start training you up. We need more of us out there.
Indeed. Yeah, we are. We're about to run out, actually, looking for some more Mackenzies. Anyway, yeah.
Right, we got a comment from Mr. Sufyan. Get a grounded mat. I presume he's referring to your castle
He's referring to my
experience.
castle. I'm not sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, he's not on night shift, bro. He was, he went to a hotel, like Castle Hotel.
Exactly.
Right, 5-star. How have you guys been this evening? We are good. We are good. SA, hi guys. I just joined. Right, here we go. Mr. SA's kicked it off. Right, for my case, I've had a great contact center reports, but social services have concerns over abuse allegations that was made months ago from mother. What is likely the outcome for my final hearing?
The final
You've got more.
hearing.
Before you answer,
Oh, okay.
Mother admitted that I've never been abusive to my child or her. I was supposed to have phone call from my child daily, but that never happened. I'm skeptic if they give me supervised contact that it will be no help.
There we go. Now, this particular case is one of my cases. And the hearing in this case is very close. And so, unfortunately, SA, in this open forum, I am not going to discuss this case.
Yeah, SA, lay low. Speak to Mr. Ryan directly. Did you say it's close to the hearing now?
It's about 10 days away.
Yeah, listen, SA, it's 10 days away. This is where I think you need to focus on your internal state. Stay calm. You need to stay calm and cool, eyes on the prize. Remember, one of the 10 commandments of family court, just know your case. Know your case, know your paperwork, do your rehearsals, do your breathing exercises, stay calm, keep your emotions in check. That's where you need to say the training is done. In these 10 days, it's like you've done your training camp, the fight is coming up. The week before the fight, you just do light sparring. That's all you have to do. Because you're not going to learn anything. It's done. What is done is done. So the 10 days is just working on that. That's what they do. That's what fighters do. That's where you're at. This last 10 days, you need to work on that, the internal. Remember, 90% of the fight is mental. Same with this. So go and work on your mental side.
That is exactly where we are.
Perfect. There you go. There you go. Great minds think alike. Right, 5-star. I think that's valid because these parents rely on a proper solicitor to write their statements and to represent them. And I do understand that trainees need experience. However, this is people's children. Exactly. I agree. With people, children online, do you know what I mean? Dan, do you have high ups? What does that mean?
I think it probably means high hopes.
Oh, high hopes. Dan, do you have high ups?
For a positive outcome on this case.
Finally, this is what I want to hear. I need to stay calm. See, this is now what you call a moment of self-reflection. That's the first thing you got to do. Full accountability. What do I need to do? Stay calm. You need to now internalize all your training, all the work, all the rehearsing, all the reading, all the paperwork, all the panic, anxiety, worry. Just let it go now, bro. It's going to be a circus. Just go and enjoy the entertainment. That's it. Period. Right, Musa TV. I've not heard this name before. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, follow, and share, and send the link of the channel to anyone that may need it. We are growing week by week. We are helping more and more people every week. I'm meant to be calling about 10 people back that I haven't even got round to. So apologies if you're watching. I will get round to it. But yes, welcome to the show. Right, if I have supervised contact once a week at the moment, how can I now increase it based on what the children are asking me? Hold on, he's got a follow-up comment. I pick them up from football training, take them Arabic lessons, and also take them for a haircut every 3 weeks or so. What are the chances I can make changes? Got Section 7 in March. Okay, this is a good question.
Mm. Yeah, trying to progress your contact, regardless of where it is, what you're getting currently. Trying to progress your contact whilst in proceedings is always difficult. It's always challenging. The start point, obviously, is to try and agree something with the other parent, to see whether they are open to you increasing or changing or adapting or progressing your contact. That is the start of the process. And if you've got a relationship with them directly, then obviously you can do that directly. If you haven't and they've got legal representation, then you can approach their legal representation and say, look, what are the chances of? So that's option one. Option two is for you to apply to court for an interim contact order or a variation on your current contact order. Now, you say, just as a little throwaway at the end of your message, that you've got a Section 7 in March. I assume that means that you've got a Section 7 being published in March. So you've got to essentially wait for it to be done. Given that, it might be difficult for you, because obviously we don't know the circumstances of your case. It might be difficult for you to progress contact any more than you are currently getting. But here is your option. When you have your interview with CAFCAS, you can say to the CAFCAS officer, look, I don't know if the children are saying this to you, but they're saying to me that they would like to see me more often. Once you've done your evaluation, do you believe that would be an appropriate thing to happen? Is that something you would recommend? And if the CAFCAS officer, having visited you and visited mum, assuming your dad, so if they've done that, and they do not see any necessary safeguarding concerns, there is a very distinct possibility that they will make some changes to your contact, particularly if they are looking to view you, to observe you with the children. They will sometimes say, look, we're going to increase contact just because we want to observe mum with the children, dad with the children. And we can't do that currently because of the contact arrangement. So sometimes you get it on the basis of that. So the start of your process is to see whether mum is convivial to a chat, if you have a relationship with mum. Failing that, a conversation with her legals.
Right, I can confirm. I now know who that is. They've just WhatsApped me. He's a chap that dials in regularly. Mother is hostile, and he's just recently went to court. Remember the guy that had given up? He was bored of all of this, and he went in, and then the judge ordered unsupervised contact immediately and said, "Why is he in supervised contact?" It's that chap.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
mother is hostile. He's already got one up, and now he's asking for more contact. So
Given
doesn't
that,
mean
then
good. Yeah.
I think progression is unlikely because the judge has given you what he believes to be appropriate until the Section 7 is published. So I think, despite what the children are saying, and bless them for that, I think you just need to hang in what you've got.
Yeah, I think the key here is to put it one way. It may not even be appropriate to say, but don't get greedy right now. This ain't the time to get greedy. We've just about got here. Mother's already agitated, so to speak, or you've given her a bloody nose, right? Yeah, and now you're trying to rub it in. Best to just sit back, go with the flow, and not push it at this stage. Again, don't get greedy. This is the long game. This is what I'm saying. You need to think of the long game, and you need to keep the eyes on the prize. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And remember, it's the short-term pain for the long-term gain. That's what you need to focus on, yeah? So don't get greedy. Sit back. I think it's a bad idea to try and antagonize mother again, especially if you're having some success now, yeah? So what I'll say is play the game.
Mm.
Right, we got Miss No. I think yes, right, Miss No. Is it common for someone to say in court they want to apply for contact after non-mol case ends? Is this a strategic move?
It can be. Yeah, it can be. It can be trying to demonstrate to the judge by voicing that wish that you're a damn fine and reasonable parent. But equally so, and let's not dismiss this because we can be quite cynical on here. it can be a very genuine thing to have said. It can be perfectly genuine. Now, obviously, Noel, you've been dialing into us for the last few weeks, so we have some insight as to what's going on at the moment. And I know you've said in previous weeks that the father has not had a great deal of interest in the children, and so I accept why it is that you might be cynical about the fact that he is saying this now, and you might be right to be, but equally so, maybe there is, a genuine intent on the part of the father to try and fix this matter.
Yes, if I remember Noel's case, there was talks of abuse involved, heavy abuse and whatnot involved in this case as well. So just a reminder if you don't know. Right, let's move along. Right, we got essay again. Silly question, but not related to my case. If there's a court order and parents want to make changes and both agree, do they need to go court? Question mark. Let's say increased duration of contact. See, this is a good question, but let me get your take on it first. Go on. It's done you. Essay's done you.
Right.
No, sorry, your screen closed. Your eyes were closed. So I thought you like nodded off there.
I was just having a little nap. No, I think we froze for a minute because you froze. Anyway, okay, so the answer is yes. Every court order which involves contact will always have a line of text in it somewhere that says that parents can agree between themselves by mutual consent extensions, changes, progressions to the contact that is detailed in the order. They do not need to return to court. However, what I always say, and I'm going to say it again now, is ensure that there has been a text exchange at the very least, or an email exchange, so you have something in writing that confirms that both of you are agreeable to whatever the progression is. Otherwise, what happens is one parent changes their mind, and then suddenly you find yourself back in court and they're going on about the fact that you've broken the court order because you've had too much time, blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to progress contact, and it is absolutely the healthy thing to do and a very sensible thing to do and a child-focused thing to do, just swap an email or swap a text that just says we're both agreeing to this. This is what we're agreeing to. That way, everybody's covered. Life can get on. Children can have a great time.
Yes. Listen, question I want to ask around this. Look, if both parents are playing ball now, they're out of court, they've got the court order. Ultimately, if they're on good talking terms and it's genuine, I mean, you can sort of do what you like, then, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
As long as no one finds out, no one cares. Social services don't know, court don't know. Who cares?
It's not about the court not knowing. It's about the fact that there is that provision in the court order. There's a provision in the court order that says this order can be changed if the parents agree. And that means that you can throw it away completely and completely redesign it should you wish to do so.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. All right, okay, we got another new name. Right, Low Key. Hey, Low Key the rapper. Right, Low Key. Welcome to the channel. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. We're here every Sunday, 8:30. There's almost 15 to 20 people watching live. Please hit the like button, helps the algorithm. Right, I only get 4 hours with my child, and the ex has blocked me, so no way of increasing. Should I start a court case, and is it worth it? So the question I'll ask you is, how badly do you want this? How badly do you want this? How important is this to you? And ultimately, what is the other option that you have? So that's the question I'll ask. But go on, Mr. Ryan, how do you want to tackle this?
If you are currently, I get the impression from what you say in this comment that you don't have a court order in place. So you're getting 4 hours with your child, and as I say, the child's other parent is blocking you from increasing that in any way at all. 4 hours is not enough. Full stop. It is not enough for you to have a wholesome relationship with your child. So if the other parent is not a mind to allow you to increase that time, to agree to there being an increase in that time because it's the right thing for the child, then I don't think you've got any choice but to begin a court case in order to get a better position. And only you will know whether when you go to court, there are going to be any issues that potentially are going to impact you. Only you will know if the other parent is going to raise allegations, domestic abuse allegations, or whatever, that potentially is going to foul your case. But the premise is a very simple one. You're getting 4 hours. That's simply not enough for you to have a wholesome relationship with the child. Try and secure more, and if you can't, use the court system.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've now understood what he's written properly. Now I've just right. So his mother's blocked him, so he's got no contact with mum, so she's already hostile. Number one, you've only getting the 4 hours. Only get 4 hours with my child on it. I mean, is it 4 hours a day or 4 hours a week? That's just need to
Yeah, I
clarify.
would guess probably 4 hours a week, actually, but we never know. Anyway,
Yeah,
either way,
I mean, look. Ideally, you still want it increasing 4 hours a week, more than likely, or less. Probably that's what it is. Yeah. So the thing is, this mother's already hostile. Mother's already holding and controlling that con. She could pull that away from you anytime. Ultimately, even that could just go any minute. So the key is, I don't see how you have any other choice. Like there's no, I don't see what other valid option do you have. So when you say, is it worth it? If you got no other choice, it is worth it because this might work or it might not work. Let's say you go to court, right? Let's break this down. You go to court, you have a 50-50 chance of getting more contact. So is it worth it? If you don't get it, you'll just stay where you are. If you don't go, you'll just stay where you are. If you go and lose, you'll stay where you are. But there's a 50% chance you will get the contact. So you got to weigh it up, innit? Is it worth it? Yes, it's 50-50. You could get more contact. So I would say go. I don't see you have any other choice. Also, when I do see my child, he has something bad to say about my mother, as told by the ex. Yeah, she's going to be ultimately bad mouthing you and your side of the family in some capacity or other. But rise above. Look, make notes of this. I tell you what you need to do. When your child is saying stuff like this, like I keep saying, record everything. You need to record this and make a diary, a log and a diary, and record this so at a later date we can use all of this. You can use all of these bullets at a later date, but you need to log it, make a video, and you build up a record to show this is what mother's been up to, and you put this in your back pocket and we use this at a later date. Yeah, that's what you need to do. So stay calm, don't react, record and log everything. Right, essay. Why would someone do another C100 after court ends instead of a variation order C2? I've seen a video online where a father had to start another C100 after his final hearing.
Okay, right. This is very quickly because this is just a very technical question. For a C2 is not the form for applying for variation order. A C2 is a form that is only available when proceedings are live, where you're looking to introduce a new issue to the proceedings. Once proceedings are closed, you have no choice but to raise a C100.
Exactly. Hey, I may have to do one of them. That's what I'm thinking. Oh yeah, I don't want to bring his name up. I'm going to read this comment out because there was some issue with deleting or don't show the stream or whatever. So I'm just going to read the comment, right? So
Yeah.
you know who it is, right? I'm just going to quickly flick it. Right. Now I'm just going to read it out. So the person watching knows who it is and you know who it is, Mr. Ryan.
Yep.
Right. Currently got unsupervised. Do you think I should get my barrister to message mother to say if she would like to increase contact as it gives her time to herself and also good for the children? It gives mother breathing space if I see the children more and I can also pay for things like haircuts, etc. My point is this again. We know the type of mother involved here. The mother is hostile. So you trying to be diplomatic, you're just rubbing it in her face. Look, strategically, you're rubbing it in her face. That's all you're doing. You're trying to push it. I don't think you want to rile her up because even though you've got a bit of success, she could start playing the games again. She wants to try and get one over you now. This is my point. You need to stop with this cat and mouse now. You've got a bit of success. My genuine advice is you need to back up and just play the game now. Don't get greedy. Straight up. That's my personal advice. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously this case is quite a sensitive one. So I think you do probably just need to hold your ground currently. I think you will antagonize if you try and put your hand up and say I want more, please. In a very Oliver Twisty moment. I think hold your ground. I think is the sensible thing to do on this occasion.
Yeah.
I agree with Farouk. Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you now, don't do it straight up. This ain't gonna end well. Yeah, I'm telling you now. You got to put whatever it is that's compelling you to go here. Right, this is what I'm saying, bro. You see this, right? I'm gonna read this last comment. He said, "Not cat and mouse. I just want to see my kids more, bro. You need to put your kids first now. You want to see them, but you want to jeopardize what could already be for more, for greed. You're getting greedy. We all want to see, bro. I ain't seen my kids for 4 years. Like, what the hell? I don't even know what my kids sound like, but this is what I'm talking about. You see that? Just push it, push it, push it till it fucking breaks. What's the point then? What if she says, fuck you, right? And then starts playing games again, and then you lose all contact now. And we go back to where we were. Well, what's the point? You need to be smart. You need to be patient. This is what I'm talking about. You need to be patient and you need to be smart. Yeah. If we get emotional, then my kids love them, bro. I want to see my kids. We all want to see our kids. That's why we're all here. You need to play the game or you're going to undo work that has already been done. Yeah. Don't be silly here. Straight up. Right. Mr. Loki has confirmed 4 hours a week.
Yeah, we presume
Yeah,
that.
it's no good. It's no good. Listen, you need, like I said, Loki, you need to put it in. You need to put the C100 in.
Let me give you some perspective, Loki. Let me give you the numbers. You get 4 hours a week. That equates to 208 hours a year. There are 8,700 hours available in the year. You're getting 200 of them. Your 208 hours equates to 8 days. So you're spending 8 days with your children when there are 365 days available. Make the application.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Right, Mr. Five Star, silly question. What's the rule on giving your child a haircut when there's a conflicting parent? Listen, let me give you a little story here. Forget conflicting parent. I was in the family home with the mother and the child, and if I gave my child a haircut, there was some sort of chaos, like I harmed the child. My little one, I remember one time, grabbed him, put him in the bath, got the trimmers out, done the job. And this is what I'm saying, the level of control. Mother comes running over, the look of sheer panic and chaos, like someone's harming the child. I said, listen, I just gave the boy a haircut. What's the problem? So forget conflicting parent, mate. I couldn't give my kids a haircut at home when I was with them. Do you know what I mean? But go on, that is a good question, though. Yeah, what would you say?
It is a good question, and there's no rule. There's no rule on something like that because that would be requiring the court to micromanage your life. So there is no rule, but I will give you my advice, and my advice is that issues like haircuts and I'll add to that getting ear piercings. That's another classic that comes up quite often. Can I have my child's ears pierced without the other parent essentially knowing? It will cause some annoyance. It will cause some uproar. Currently, I would, certainly in this particular case, I would not advise getting a haircut because it will antagonize. I would wait for things like haircuts and ear piercings and the like. I would wait until the landscape is a little more settled than it currently is. The likes of ear piercings and haircuts are the realm of mother. Whether we agree with that or not is another thing entirely, but they are the realm of mother. And so unless you can get agreement from mother that you want to do lads and dads off to the haircutters, I'd let it alone.
Yeah, I think you got to pick your battles. I think, like you said, you got to pick your battles. Patience is a virtue in the family law, 100%. Never get emotional when it comes to communication, 100. Right, this is a new sort of initials. Yes, Mr. A, welcome to the channel. If you're new, please like, subscribe, follow, and share, and send the link to the channel to those who may be going through this turmoil and who need the support. We're here every Sunday, 8:30. It's sad that we have to go through all of this just to see our own kids. Yes, Mr. AOK, unfortunately, this is the predicament we are in. This is where we are. We have certain tools and mechanisms available to us. And unfortunately, if that's the hoops that we got to jump through in order to see our children, we owe it to our children. It's not right. We don't like it. I don't like it. It's not fair. But when we're at this stage here now, we are beyond fair now. This is beyond fair. We are in the trenches. We're in the fight that we never wanted, and we have to now pick up the baton and carry on for our kids. So, it is what it is. So don't be negative. Accept that it's unfair and face it head on now. We got to get past that. That's the only way you can get through this. Otherwise, you'll just burn away inside slowly every day with the injustice. You with me? Right, Miss Knoll, will I be able to relocate in July if I apply in January? School starts in August in the destination country. Can this be an argument in court, and what's the time frame for relocation cases?
Okay, relocation, and obviously you've already indicated to us that it's your intention to relocate to another country, which makes life fundamentally more complicated. You have to make an application to the court, and the court has to consider that application against the best interests of the children. Now, the court will always come from the position that the children are British citizens, and I surmise they are. So that is the first thing they will safeguard, that these children are entitled to be British citizens. Consequently, moving them out of the country, regardless of where you're going, moving them out of the country, you have got to have a very, very good argument as to why you want to do that. Otherwise, the court will not allow it to happen. The difficulty with relocation cases is that the court's opening position is always children should stay in the UK. The position that you are about to launch to the court and make them aware of is the fact that you wish to leave the country with the children, and the father, I presume, is going to stay here in the UK. So he is going to be estranged from his children, potentially by thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of miles. And so his opportunity, and I don't know his financial position, so his opportunity to see them potentially is going to be significantly restricted, maybe even to once a year or less. So the issue we have is that the court has got to be convinced that that is the right thing for the children. So I can't give you a deadline. I can't give you a timeline for that, because every judge will give this different regard. Every judge will ask CAFCAS in order to carry out an investigation, in order to understand what it is that you are trying to achieve, to get the position of the other parent by what it is you're trying to achieve, but also they will ask the children. And if the children are reluctant, or if the children demonstrate any degree of reluctance about leaving the country because they don't want to leave friends and family or school or whatever it might be, that potentially is going to give you an issue. It's a relocation to another country, very difficult thing to do, and it's a theme in family court that requires a huge amount of thought. And people quite naively go into family court and think, well, this is what I want to do, and the judge is just going to allow me because I'm mum or I'm dad, and I think it's a good idea. I have been in too many relocation applications over the years where a judge has said, no, you cannot. And that catches people off guard because they don't presume that's going to happen. So difficult one, difficult journey you've got ahead of you.
Miss Knoll, I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. Right, 5 stars in a row tonight. Oh wow, I used to give my child a haircut all the time before this whole family shebang, and the other parent used to love it. Yeah, when you're together and you're playing happy families,
it just becomes more difficult. It just becomes more difficult, and it's one of those acts of contention that can be more damaging than it's actually worth.
Because the thing is this. Sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, go on, shoot.
Yeah, I think because what you got to remember, the sort of people we are dealing with. Yeah, it's a game of power. The moment you say do, because you guys said they treat the kids like possessions and pawns, instruments of power to wield control and inflict damage upon you and your psyche. That's what it is. So when you say carry out a haircut for the child, what happens? You have defied the power. You have slapped him in the face. It's a disrespect. Now, if you've just started getting contact and you're built, look, like I said, the bond, how can I put it? You got to weigh this up. You got to pick your battles. Is your bond with your child worth losing over the fact that you wanted to give him a haircut or go to the barbers with them? Yes, it's a nice thing. It's a normal thing for a parent, a father to want to take his son to the barbers, give him a little blend, give him some little shapes or whatever it is they do these days. It's a nice thing. It's a natural, normal thing. Everyone should be able to do. I agree. But we are in the trenches. We are fighting for our basic rights to have a relationship with our child. Are we going to jeopardize that over the haircut? What is more important? You got to put this into context. Now, what I'll say is, if you do want to give the child a haircut, and this is what I say to people, you got to massage the ego of the narcissist. So I would turn around and say, you got to put your ego aside, go to her and say, would you mind if I gave this child a haircut? Is there any specific haircut you can suggest? I'll sort it out. That'll save you the money. So you make it look like you're conceding to their power. If you really want to do it, their ego gets stroked and says, yes, I'm in charge. Like I said, you have to do the opposite of what you think they want you to do. You have to be one step ahead. We had a chap, right? I'm sure you remember, Mr. Ryan. I was advising him from day dot. He had contact with his daughter. He had good contact, right? And I said to him, play the game, do the opposite of what you want her to do, sort of thing, yeah? But he was doing it so well and it was working. He started rubbing it in her face. And then he started highlighting how he didn't like certain things and how they were doing things, started throwing his weight around. Bang, arrested, multiple charges, almost had a non-mol, and things went real sour real quick. And then there was a risk of not seeing your child and how difficult this whole road is. That reality check, it never needed to happen. But what happens is people get complacent. When you've got something, until you lose something, there's an element of complacency. Again, eyes on the prize. 10 commandments of family court. We ain't just pulling these out of thin air. Yeah? There's a reason we're saying this. Eyes on the prize. What is the bigger goal? Short-term pain for long-term gain. When your child is 15 and 16 and no one can tell him what to do, he'll happily come to the barbers with you and you can make up all of this lost time. You can have the haircuts. You can go to the Turkish, do the whole shave. You can take him for his first shave. How about that? Take him to the shop, to the Turkish barbers, hot towel, full shave, haircut, blend, the whole lot. But at least focus on the fact that you'll have that relationship to do that with him at a later date. Because if you lose that over this little things now, it's gone. So people, you need to get focused. You need to get focused here. Sorry, what other comments have we got?
No, that's fine.
I
don't think we really shouldn't be taking the child for a Turkish shave when he's 3 years old. Just saying.
No, I'm saying when he's 16. When he gets to 16, you can do that when he's 16. Right, he's done that. He's done that comment. Right, we got one comment from Miss Knoll and then one comment from 5-star, and then we'll wrap it up. Right, Miss Knoll, what is required of the opposing parent when contesting a relocation case?
A good argument is what's required. He needs to give a very good argument. In your case, he needs to give a very good argument as to why the children should stay in the country. Now, there is already, as we know, we're not discussing your case in any finite detail because that's not fair. That's not what we do. But we already know there is some weakness in his position. But he needs to deliver a good argument as to why these children should not relocate out of the country. What are the arguments that people offer up? The obvious one is always citizenship. The second one they usually offer up is support network. So he's got family over here, and he or she or the children know lots of people over here. That's always one that's offered. The third one is always the education and the health system. They have access to, they have access to premium healthcare as children, because they get prioritized, and the education system, is one of the best in the world. So that tends to be the argument they offer up as to why children should stay in the country. Just be aware of that.
Yes, guys. Be aware what we got right. Any family law news this week? Yes, we covered that at the start of the stream. It was the case of Mr. Mazur. Go and check it out. Right, guys, it's been 55 minutes. Mr. Ryan is very tired, as you heard from his story earlier. He's had a bad night's sleep. In mansion. He rolls around in mansion. He pulled up to this castle in his Bentley, but it just wasn't up to scratch. Do you see what I'm saying? The man was cruising in the Bentley.
I had to return to the mansion. It just wasn't. I tried a castle. It didn't work for me. I had to return to the mansion.
Yes. So, guys, this was episode 67. It was a good stream. I think we've all learned something. Thank you for joining. Appreciate each and every one of you. Keep battling. Keep, again, eyes on the prize. Don't lose focus. Put your emotions aside. Focus on the task and the job at hand. Yeah. And don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Mr. Ryan, any closing comments?
Exactly that. If you're in court this week, I trust it goes well for you. Keep the faith. Keep your respect. Well, there we go. There's 5-star making some sarcastic comment to close it out. But as I say, so just keep the faith, keep your respect for the court system, and then hopefully the court system will eventually, maybe not as quickly as we'd like, but will eventually look after you. Have a good week, guys.
Yes, have a good week. Like, subscribe, follow, and share on the main Disqualified Dad's channel, and also That Family Law Guy, Mr. Ryan's channel. Go over there, head over and subscribe as well. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Over and out.